So I was delegated today's question and answer session, which has been really interesting. It feels like we have more advanced type of question askers, which is fun to see. The first question was, what does it mean when you're blocked or switched? Okay, these are terms that we use when we're working with a patient in nutrition response testing. The technical term is actually called neurogenic blocking. Okay, that means your nervous system is blocked to healing and it won't respond to its environment to keep you alive easily. Okay, then the other one is neurogenic switching. What the term is, it's nervous system, the way your body responds to environment generated, as opposed to a physical blockage. Think like a blocked artery in your neck or digestive obstruction. It's none of that. This is nervous system. Okay, we're going to back it up a little bit too. Is that, how do I know if I'm blocked or not? Patients that are blocked typically report they're just not getting better. They've tried all these great things and they're not getting better. A classic one was, I'm losing weight, but now I'm at a plateau. And the truth is their nervous system is being blocked by something that the body released out of the body fat, most likely, as you're losing weight. And so in other words, neurogenic blocking is a condition where you don't keep improving. Your body will take the outside information it receives. Let's say I'm outside in the cold, my cheek feels cold, and my cheek, the nerve fibers will tell my brain it's cold out, and my brain sends a message back that says dilate all the blood vessels, and it will want to dilate the blood vessels, bring warm blood to the tissue so I don't freeze the tissue. That's normal. You are wired to with the best chance of survival. When you're blocked, you lose that quality. Your body doesn't want to respond, doesn't want to heal itself. So that's one concept, okay? Next question, what is switching? And we talked about neurogenic switching, okay? I'm going to throw some technical terms at you, but hopefully explain them, okay? So this system that's running all of our health, right now it's on my heart to beat, my lungs to breathe, my stomach to digest. This is called the autonomic nervous system, okay? And the autonomic nervous system is, think of it like automatic, but what it actually means is self-regulating, okay? The body will regulate itself. For example, I run up the stairs, my heart speeds up because my muscles need more oxygen delivered to the muscles. So my heart speeds up and pumps more oxygen to those organs. So that's great. Now, when I get to the top of the stairs, I rest. And instead of my heart just staying running, it quiets down. It's self-regulating, so I don't have to beat as hard. And so my body self-regulates, my heart rate comes down, and I rest. So that's great. This is the autonomic nervous system. That's what gets blocked to healing. Now, there's another thing called switched to healing or neurogenic switching, which means that autonomic nervous system is broken in two parts, okay? One part over here is keeping you alive during the day. Think of fight or flight or sympathetic nervous system. And so my body is always reading my environment and giving me the perfect response for survival. I touch something hot, my hand springs back because I don't want to get burnt and wreck my health. So my body will automatically tell it, don't do that. And so that's the sympathetic nervous system. You have a different part of your nervous system over here called parasympathetic. And that's when your body doesn't have to keep you alive. It's usually the parasympathetic nervous system is more about resting and healing. Hopefully I'm in a safe, quiet place. And I don't have to be in fight or flight. Instead I'm resting. And my body takes all its energy and turns inward for healing and digestion and regeneration. So this is great stuff. So in other words, I can be in fight or flight, or I can be healing and regenerating. A switch person is jumping between these back and forth all day and all night. So all of a sudden, I take this thing for sleep and it works great. And the next night it wakes me wide awake. You're switched. Your nervous system is confused. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully you can understand where blocking and switching are the definition of it. Now the other part of the question was, how do we get blocked or switched? Well, our world is full of so many different stressors that affect our body that can really affect our nervous system and how it responds to the environment. So toxic chemicals, heavy metals, immune challenges, foods, emotional stress, physical stress where the spine gets out of alignment, puts pressure on nerves. These are all things that can block or switch your nervous system and prevent you from healing properly. And so how do you resolve that? Well, that's what we do with nutrition response testing. We get to find out what is the actual cause of your blocking or your switching, what would it take specifically to get rid of that, and we're always trying to train our patients on how not to develop that situation if possible for them. So in other words, blocking and switching is something that we typically acquire over time. Our bodies pick up on all this, and we'd love to see a healthy lifestyle and dietary habits that will help the body resolve this, but sometimes we have man-made synthetic chemicals or it's just too overwhelming and the body will need extra help. And that's what we do with nutrition response testing. Okay, next question has a little more advanced quality to it. It has to do with what's called hand modes. What are the different hand signs used during a nutrition response testing checkup, and what do they mean? Okay, so you might see a patient asked to put their fingertips together like that, or like this, or even like that at times. These are all called hand modes. And what we do with hand modes is they tell us, is this condition that we're working with, is the correct treatment or the correct answer to your problem, is it physical? That's what this means. Is it chemical or is it emotional? Now we actually train our staff on this, not our staff, we actually train our patients on this during our workshop we do once a month called Can I Muscle Test My Family? We will show you really basic ways to start taking control of your health without drugs or surgery and start learning how to muscle test using hand modes that now will tell you the proper way to treat that condition. Okay, so it's great. And so there's one more hand mode that comes up. It's when we take the middle of the thumb and put the second finger into it, kind of like you're going to flick something. This one is called priority, and we use this all the time because there's things that I want to do as a practitioner to help you, and there's things that you as a patient want to get better, but we really have to follow the body's path. So when we ask the priority thing, the body tells us the correct path to healing. And so that's why we do that one. What's the body's priority? We have to follow that every time. Okay, now here sounds like a simple question. In a nutshell, can you help me understand the nervous system? Okay, I know, maybe I'm a slow learner. It took me 4 years of doctorate training to get the full handle on this one, but I'm going to try to put it in a nutshell for you, okay? Okay, so the nervous system is composed of your brain and your head and your spinal cord. We call that the central nervous system. Now, information from your brain going to your spinal cord and coming back up to the brain is always happening, but somehow it has to get out here, let's say to open and close my hands. There's a message from my brain out here, and that's because there's nerves that exit my spinal column and run out to the body. This is called the peripheral nervous system. So you have the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. So they're all nerves. They just broke in different parts and named them differently. Okay, so you can have interference of central nervous system, or you can have interference of a peripheral nervous system. One of the most common types of interference that we see in coming into our clinic is called subluxation, okay? Now what's that mean? That typically all the bones in your spine stack up and a spinal cord runs right down the middle of it, and a nerve comes off the spine like this, fits between the two bones all the time like that. Now a bone should be moving around so we can move around, but sometimes the bone shifts and it can pinch the nerve. And we know that when a nerve gets pinched, it doesn't work very good. It actually shuts down the function of it to some degree, okay? And whatever body part, system, or organ that nerve controls will also be affected. So think of this nerve interference. We give this technical name called subluxation. But when a bone becomes subluxated, out of place, pinch a nerve, the nerve isn't like an on and off switch. It's more like a dimmer switch. That, the nerve still works, but it's only working at 30%. So you're saying there's a nerve that can come off my spine and tell my heart how to respond to its environment, but it can be pinched and actually change the function of my heart? Yes, that's what I'm telling you. Can it change the digestion ability of my stomach to break down foods? Absolutely. So that's what chiropractic does. We want to understand which nerves are under stress and how, take the pressure off those nerves and actually show you as a patient how not to keep messing with it. The joke I use is, my job is to put you in correct alignment as a chiropractor, and your job is not to mess up my work, okay? So we work together on that one. That's great. Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit further understanding of the nervous system here too, okay? So the nervous system, the nerves are really kind of interesting. They're built just like a rope, okay? So you think about a rope, if I cut it in half, it has a bunch of bundles, right, like that. A nerve's constructed just like that. Now, in a rope, if I took these bundles and broke them out, now it's a bunch of strings that make up the bundle. Nerves are just like that. These individual nerve fibers are originating from the brain, run down the spinal cord, and they all join together, and then they go out to the body, and these bundles are nerves. And so, if I were to take 10 nerves and spread them out, one nerve is for pain. So, if you have a nerve that affects pain or that helps you understand pain, and that nerve's being irritated or pinched or crushed, whatever you want to call it, guess what you get to feel? Pain. 100% correct, okay? Now, we have 9 other nerves, okay? That's only 10% of your nervous system we talked about. We have 9 other nerves that have nothing to do with pain. So as a chiropractor, when we treat a patient, our goal is to take the pressure off the nerve and help you with that 10% you're aware of, but we're actually influencing the other 90% too, restoring bodies back to full function and health again. My advice is everyone would benefit from periodic checkups from a chiropractor to boost your immune system, to improve digestive function, to increase lung function. All these are great. Coordination and balance for athletes, injury prevention and performance. So getting regular checkups with a chiropractor is a huge benefit to a body. Chiropractors are the only doctors in the United States and the world that view your body this way. The vision of trying to help a nerve is frequently seen with a nerve only works when it's cut or it works fine. And the truth is there's a lot of variability in between that, and that's what chiropractors work with you on. So hopefully our mini nervous system education was productive for you guys. You learned things like sympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system. You learned about autonomic nervous system. But the reality is your body is wired to survival, and your goal is to release the stress on these body parts and organs and tissues so they can reach their optimum, because they will want to always gravitate back to great health. So that's what we do here at Metro East Natural Healing Center. We're going to be running this workshop or these question and answer sessions every Friday. We have different practitioners sharing their responses, which has been really fun because I've actually learned quite a bit too. And so it's great stuff. Please send in your questions you have, and hopefully it's a little lunchtime learning session for you, which is great to do. And we'll see you next Friday. And I think Chelsea will be up, and I'm not sure the questions that she'll be answering, but Chelsea will be up probably, I think it's next Friday, so that's great. Hey guys, have a great lunch. Bye now.